So coming back to our plan mode, we can now come in and double click on the master again. And in our master, you can see we've got all our stuff squared away and ready to go. What I want to do here is I'm going to minimize that and I'm going to hide that. And I'm going to come over here and go back down to my friend, sorry, brain freeze here, the proto library. I can look at that, but before I do that, I want to add in a footer element. So I'm going to come up here and grab the actual rectangle tool, and I'm going to click and drag that out. But uh-oh, I made a mistake, so I don't really want to do that. I'm going to hit Command Z, and what I really want to do is come over here in my layers panel, and in my layers panel, click on there, and of course my layers panel is being funky, right? And it is. There we go. So in there, now I've got it back. So I'm in my layers panel. I want to lock my header layer. I want to unlock my footer layer. And that's where, on my master, that's where I want to come in, grab this tool, and I want to make sure I'm on that footer, make sure it's selected. And I'm going to click and drag, and I can tell I'm on that footer because I've got that green color. Now notice as I bring that over and I hit that line, it turns red. Or I hit over here on this line and you can see that faint red. That means I'm locking it to the edges. It's essentially snapping it to the edges is what I'm doing. So if I grab my pointer tool here, you can see I can pull it out. See how I get over there? As soon as I hit that line, it turns red. Then I hit over there, it turns red. That means I'm setting it to be 100%. Now right now my fill is a white, so I'm just going to come up here and select a gray just so we have a fill there. So now I've got my kind of line, page basically laid out. I've got a footer, I've got whatnot. Let me show you one other thing that's kind of cool. It's inside the latest version. And if you go into the widgets library and you scroll down, you'll notice there's social. And if I click on the social and I scroll down here, look at all the fun things that I have in there. So I could actually come over here and say grab my LinkedIn and drag my LinkedIn there, and then I could actually put in my LinkedIn address or something like that if I wanted to. We're going to talk more about this later, but I just thought it was kind of fun and I can put it in that area. Okay, so we're going to save our file, and I'm going to close the master. I'm going to go back to plan, and now you'll notice that our files all have been added. I want to go back to my home page. And then once I come to my home page, I want to start to add some things in here. So if we go back to our friend, the Andrew prototypes, and we look inside here, one of the options we have, excuse me, is placeholder. So I'm going to grab placeholder, drag it out, put it on there, and give it a couple of seconds, and bang, it's there. Well, what I really want to do is I want to set it up as if it were a hero image on my page. So I'm just going to stretch it out to pretend to be a hero image on my page, and bang, you can see that it's gone through and it's created a document for me, and I can see from the heads-up display there what my height is going to be. So I'm going to make this I'm going to make it 300. I'm going to make it a pretty big hero image. And so as I come in here, I can get it in at 300. I'm actually going to make it 95 so I can get in there. Maybe a little bit smaller for right now. Let's make it 75, 70. Okay, there we go. Bang. So now I've got a 960 by 70 image. So now what that tells me is if I were to really design this to this size, that's the size of the image I would want to create for my hero. Now, I'm going to next come in and going to go back into my layer there. I'm going to grab my lorem headline and I'm going to drag that and pop that in place as well. Now you'll notice that as I drag and drop this in place, it pushes the page down, and that's actually what we want to have happen because we want our page to drop down below every time that we work in it. Because we want the page to continue to grow and fill for content. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab either my lorem ipsum generator, which is great, Or I can grab the lorem ipsum body copy, which is also great, and I can click and pop that in place. And you can see that it's going to actually put in some body copy for me here. So I can kind of get a sense of what I want to do. And I can maybe bring this over so it snaps to that line. And then hold down my command key and drag it over to create another copy of it. And then maybe in this case what I really want to do is maybe come in here and get rid of some of that text to drop that size down. Then maybe I want to come over here, grab that tool and bring this down here so it's maybe right about there, and then grab another instance of my placeholder. So I'm going to grab that, put that in place here. And in my mind, I would imagine that that is actually an image that I would put. Maybe I could have an image such as this, but in reality, I'd probably have an image more like this, where it goes across the two columns. So I can kind of get a sense of how to lay out my page, get a sense of what's going on. I can copy that guy over here and bring him over here. And then now I get a sense of what my page looks like. I'm hitting Command minus on my keyboard so I can zoom out and get a look at what my page is. And now I've got the basic structure of a web page. If I were to then come up to preview this, I could now click on and go to any one of these pages. And here I am in the breakfast page. I don't know that because I have no label. So I could put a label in there and I could design each one of my pages. And that's really all there is to it.